Hello everyone, the second channel is back for now. I have a big announcement that'll probably be in the next video on this channel. I know I haven't posted in like a fucking year, but I know what I have to talk about today is a lot more important than what I'll be posting later. So today I'm here to talk to you about Bill C-11. So I got an email from YouTube this morning talking about this bill, and it's a bill being passed in Canadian Parliament. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm a Canadian. I was born in Canada. My entire YouTube channel is run out of Canada, and YouTube is my main source of revenue. So this is going to directly affect me. And basically what the bill says is it wants to regulate YouTube, Twitch, Netflix, TikTok, all of these digital streaming apps the same way that Canadian television is regulated. So for those of you who don't know, a certain percentage of Canadian television time, radio time, all this stuff has to be regulated to put a certain amount of Canadian content out there. I believe it's 30%. I'm not 100% sure on that. And what this wants to do, this new bill, is bring this into the online streaming world. So, for example, if you were to search something, let's say hypothetically this bill does pass, if you were to search something on YouTube in Canada, you would be shown a certain percentage of results that are considered Canadian and patriotic. So they're trying to frame it in this way that they're trying to protect Canadian culture from outside influences, when really they're just kind of building a firewall and just trying to censor Canadian internet. So basically, what this means for YouTubers like myself, any other Canadian YouTubers that you might know, you might watch, is we're fucked. Because I would say out of all the Canadian YouTubers that I know, a very small minority of them actually make Canadian content. Now, for those of you who might be saying, well, you're Canadian, so obviously it's Canadian content. That's not how this bill works. So with TV, for example, a movie like Scott Pilgrim versus the World, stars Canadian actors, was shot in Canada, is in name a Canadian movie. This would not be considered Canadian under CanCon because the powers that are making these decisions and are deciding what things are Canadian enough is this group called the CRTC, who essentially is in bed with the biggest companies in Canada, the biggest telecom companies. So they just want to essentially level the playing field because of how dog shit their content has been on TV and radio and whatnot. So they realize people are coming to the online sphere to get most of their Canadian content, or not their Canadian content, just their content in general. And the Canadian content that they're putting forward on TV is being ignored because one, it's shit, and two, they're in a dying medium. So I got this email from YouTube talking about this, and YouTube actually put a thing on the creator page, the YouTube creators page, about how serious this is and why we should fucking take this seriously. And I'm gonna be honest, guys, if this shit gets passed, I might have to fucking leave Canada. And I know you think I'm exaggerating, but I've talked to a number of other Canadian YouTubers, and there have been Canadian YouTubers like Derek from More Plates, More Dates, who made a video yesterday, I believe it was, talking about this, saying he might have to fucking leave the country if this is the case too. So what Canada wants to do is essentially censor the internet to make it more Canadian, which essentially means to make it more what the government wants you to see. So how this will affect me as a YouTuber and other YouTubers by, it could fuck up our monetization. We would have to play certain ads on our things that would have to be Canadian. It could fuck up our ad revenue. And most importantly for me, it'll fuck up the discoverability of the content. So for example, if I'm not making Canadian content, the Canadian government would be well within their right to bury me in the fucking algorithm. And it's a really fucking scary thing to think that a Western, seen liberal democratic society like Canada is doing something like this. Like, this is some shit you feel like you'd see from China. And this doesn't just stop at YouTubers, but this extends to Canadians further. So let's say, for example, you're watching Netflix and you want to have dinner and watch Netflix or a YouTube or whatever, and you're living in Canada, and you go onto YouTube, and instead of seeing the stuff you want to see, like for example, let's say you're really big into, language videos. You're big into language learning. Instead of seeing language learning videos about, whatever you're interested in, Chinese, Spanish, Japanese, I don't know, you're only seeing Canadian content, or a certain percentage of that is Canadian content. So what's being recommended in these algorithms is exactly what the government wants you to see. And it's very fucking concerning because not only is it going to fuck up a great ecosystem that we have going on now, it's going to fuck creators who are trying to, make what they want. And from someone like me, and I think this is true for a lot of the creators who I've seen speak about this, I am not going to change my content to appeal to the government because I know they don't have my best interests at heart. And what is so fucked about this bill, what it blows my fucking mind, is you can look at any channel covering this, any news article that has comments or whatever. I have yet to see a single person who is in support of this bill. I have yet to see a single person who is like, you know what, censor the internet more. We need more Canadian content. The only people who want this are rich executives and the politicians that their pockets are being lined by said rich executives. So, yeah, I mean, it is a very scary time. It is a very crazy thing to think about. And, for me to make a video about this and for YouTube to send out emails to Canadian creators and put stuff on the, creators page, just shows you how fucking serious this is. Like, this can be, because for me, I never plan on talking about politics ever. I never want to talk about politics on my channel. That's not who I am. That's not who I'm interested in. But this is something I feel like whether you're left, right, center, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, everyone can get behind this and see how fucked up this is. So if you are a Canadian content creator, or you just want to support Canadian content creators, or just Canadians in general, there is stuff we can do about this. Now, the way the Canadian government works right now is they don't listen to the citizens at all. They only listen to special interest groups. But the bill hasn't been officially passed yet. So it is possible that they could amend the bill and take things out that would target user-generated content and whatnot, or even cancel the bill in general, because this is really fucked up. So let's go on to what happens if this bill passes. Let's say this is probably the most likely scenario, is it does pass, because again, the politicians don't listen to the citizens. They just listen to Bell, Rogers, and TELUS, these rich companies in Canada, which is the equivalent of like AT&T and Verizon or Vodafone. I don't know what the equivalent is in your country, but in all likelihood, this bill will pass. I don't know if it'll be in the same way it's written now, or it'll be the same, it'll be amended in the future. I don't know how that's going to work. But if it does pass and they do enforce it, why would I stay in Canada? Why? Like, it is essentially going to ruin my career. And I fucking love doing YouTube. It is my passion. I think about it every day. I love making videos. Why would I stay in a country that has essentially said, go fuck yourself? If you're not going to, essentially make patriotic propaganda for us, why the fuck would I stay here? That's probably the most likely scenario. The other scenario is it gets passed and it's not enforced, but it's still there, which to me seems like it's just waiting to be enforced by a government who is not looking out for the best interests of people. Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. And if that stuff does happen, people like myself, people like Derek from More Plates, More Dates, people like, Greg Doucette, any big Canadian YouTuber you can think of, they're probably going to be forced to move to either the States and change their tax documents, or, the UK, wherever it may be, to fix this shit. And it's like, it's really fucked up and it's really concerning. And I hope you can see how concerned I am about something like this. So if you do want to help, YouTube sent me, in the email they sent me, they put a link in the email where you can just put in your name, put in your email, and put in your postal code. And what it'll do is it'll automatically send out an email to your MP or your local representative, whoever it may be. It sends out a bunch of different emails to people saying that you're concerned about this. And don't worry, it's very easy. It just fills out the whole thing for you. So it's a very simple process. And even if you don't live in Canada, you can just find a random fucking postal code that exists somewhere in Canada and then use that. And yeah, so I thought I would talk about this and hopefully bring some awareness to it. If you want to know more about this whole thing, because I've just been rambling here. If you want to know more about this, there's a YouTuber named JJ McCullough. I'll put a link to his video talking about this bill in the description. He actually went to Parliament and debated this shit in front of, argued for it, against it, in Ottawa, in Canadian Parliament. So if that interests you at all, please go ahead and check out his channel. and check out that video if you want to see more. And yeah, that's all I basically have to say. So yeah, thanks for watching. And the next video is going to be more funny. It's going to be a bit of an update. I don't know when it's going to be out, but it'll be out eventually. Thanks, guys.